Well, Steve, a three-judge panel of the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals had Michigan an absolute mess in this redistricting, this gerrymandering case. I'm not saying that the ruling was wrong. I think the evidence supported the ruling, but the remedy they impose is going to be almost impossible for Michigan to meet, and it's going to turn everything upside down. I described it in a column as too much, too late.
Yeah, I wondered when Republicans turned down the deal that Jocelyn Benson offered them, which was a more modest redraw than this, whether they were courting this kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks good now, doesn't it?
It would have been much easier to do than this will be, and much less disruptive. And I asked her about that as well when she proposed that settlement, and what she said was she was looking for the least disruptive way to remedy what had gone wrong. The court went way further, and I don't know that the Supreme Court will intervene in this to turn that back.
See, I think they will. I think they'll issue a stay because they've got the Maryland case and the North Carolina case that they heard in March, I guess. Ruling will come out in June. I think they'll stay until the ruling comes out at least.
Right.
And
I think that's right.
I mean, it looked like in the hearing, and you can't tell from that, but it looked like they were leaning toward, the conservative justices were leaning toward limiting the court's role in this whole redistricting.
They are going to limit the court's role in this, but one of the smart things about this opinion is that it tacks very closely along with what the court has already said about gerrymandering. It really doesn't depend on some new ruling about when you've gone over the line, and Republicans here went way over the lines. And what's frustrating is that people have been saying that now for 9 years in Michigan, that this was an egregious example of a partisan redraw of the map, and that it didn't need to be, A, but B, that it violated people's rights, and the Republicans just never would listen.
I don't argue with that, but over time, I think they've been pulled back. The advantage they drew in a lot. If you look what's happened over the last two elections, they've lost ground. In 2018, they lost a lot of ground. They lost 2 House seats that should have been Republican. They were drawn Republican. They're Democrat, and they're going to be Democrat now for a while. They lost a number of Senate seats, a number of House seats. What happens with these, anytime you try to draw in a partisan advantage, it lasts 2-3 election cycles, and then things start to shift. I mean, demographics change, but if you look at the remedy, we're now going to have special elections
for the Senate.
And redrawn, and for the Senate and in redrawn House districts. There's no way to just limit those to the 14 or so that were specified.
No.
You're going to have to touch most other districts. And so you're going to have people serve 2 years and then have to run again when they were supposed to serve 4 years. How does it play out on term limits? Because term limits says you get 2 terms. It doesn't say you get 8 years. So you've got almost the whole leadership, both minority and majority, of the Senate perhaps not going to be able to run again
pushed out,
in 2020. It's just, I mean, it's going to be confusing, and plus the redraw is based on 2010 census data. That no longer is relevant.
That's the biggest problem. I mean, the smart play here would be to try to forecast the process that we're going to have unfold after the 2020 census, where we're going to have this bipartisan commission decide what the line should look like. I think the only way to manage this in a way that doesn't disrupt everything twice in 2020 and then again in 2022 is to move that process up and to say, let's try to put together some proxy of that in order to...
You really don't have time to establish something new. You got to August 1st, you got 3 months to get this done. This takes months and months and months.
It takes a long time to do.
It takes a year and a half.
And will take us longer because of this new process.
And so now we're 3 months rushing to do this and get a plan that both Republicans and Democrats can agree on. I don't think you get anything else done up there. So you don't get the road funding done. You don't get no fault done. It just throws the whole state
It throws everything
into
into real turmoil.